Welcome back to Derry Public Radio. Reporting from the basement of the Derry Civic Center, this is CM Alexander with the news. A new haunted house has opened outside of Derry, if you can find it. Which one are we talking about? One where you don't stand a ghost of a chance, with a devil-may-care attitude. We're not clowning around about this haunt. You are listening to Derry Public Radio. This is Derry Public Radio.
Welcome back to Derry Public Radio, a bi-weekly Stephen King book club podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Joshua Kahn, alongside CM Alexander.
Hello, everyone.
And joining us in the studio, a passionate movie fan who turned actor, director, and writer. You may recognize him from the 2019 horror thriller Haunt, or from his gracious appearance in our Derry Public Radio short film where CM beat him to death with a book. Please welcome to the show, Justin Marxen. Justin, how are you doing today?
I am good. Thank you very much for having me on here.
Absolutely. It's super excited to have another guest in studio. It's been a while since we've had someone live in here with us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, of course. Yes. Duh. Jeez. No, yes. No, my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, before we get to the interview, we're going to turn things over to CM, and CM guards the interview very, very seriously. So I want to warn you so you're on your A game for what comes next. CM, are you ready?
Oh, my.
He set the bar way higher than it needs to be set. These questions are not a big deal. I do have a cinder block next to me, though. If things don't go well, I'm going to ask you to lay down on the floor.
Whatever you're thinking about doing, please don't do it. Annie, please.
Oh, yeah, I can't beat you to death twice. That would be rude.
That would be rude,
That would be
yes.
rude. Yeah, everybody gets one.
No, I deserve it. Fine. Go for it.
All right, first question for you. What was your introduction to Stephen King's work, either book or movie?
I would have to say the movie Stand By Me was my first introduction. I remember watching that a lot, and I really loved Kiefer Sutherland in that movie. There was just something about that guy.
Yeah.
He was so vicious and cool, and he's the bad guy. And then, you talk about Lost Boys and all these other great performances he's given. And I don't know, I really just watched that one over and over. So I would say that one would be my my first introduction.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite adaptation?
This is so tough. I was going over this with my wife last night, just going over all of them. I would say The Shining is so good. God, I would say The Shawshank Redemption. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I can't even count how many times.
It is an objectively perfect movie.
It is, yeah. And The Green Mile, too. I
Yes.
love that one. And my wife tells me that is, I want to know what you guys think, that's like the best adaptation that they say. Would you guys agree with that? Like,
At the time that came out,
Yeah.
when I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is the best Stephen King movie that's ever been done. There
Yeah.
are others since then
Sure.
that I've watched and are, technically might not be as good, but
okay.
are a little more horror.
Mhm.
And so
Oh, of
I just
course.
appreciate them a little more. But
Yes.
yeah, it is pretty perfect.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's very, very faithful and just heart-wrenching.
Oh my
Yes.
God, I know.
It's so brutal.
It is. And everyone is so good in that. I mean,
Mhm.
Hanks, come on. Michael Clark Duncan, everyone is, I could talk Stephen King movies all day long. I'm embarrassed, though. I don't know if I should be on here because I haven't read any of his books or a book. I mostly read like biographies on like actors that I like, but I apologize. I have not read a book before.
You don't
So you're-
have to apologize.
Yeah. I didn't realize you were a big nonfiction buff.
Well, yeah, I like I got there's a Al Pacino book and a Sean Penn one and Clint Eastwood. Like I just love reading about those guys and how they do what they do, so I can hopefully get better and help I can get. So yeah.
Well, it's really interesting. We just read Mick Garris's new biography
really?
that is coming out, and we were discussing how it's so different. We've been reading fiction for the past 3 years,
Yeah.
and taking the time to read someone's biography where there's not. There's no cliffhanger at the end of this chapter to make you go to the next one.
Yeah.
And so it's just such a change of pace on how you read and digest. I find that biographies, it's so easy. It's so casual to read. It's so easy to pick up and just whenever.
It's, there's some of the ones I really like. The one I have on Pacino and Sean Penn. It's like an interview. And so it's, just an interview asking questions and them answering it. And it's really cool. And it's throughout their life too. Like with Al Pacino, it starts in the 70s and all the way, I think ends in the early 2000s. But it's just really cool to see how more comfortable he got through the interview. So yeah, I don't know.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool.
Well, okay, so considering that you haven't read any Stephen King books, I'm going to drop the second question that I usually ask. Not like a cinder block on your hand.
What was it, though? I'm just curious. What was the question going to be?
So on our podcast, we talk about what we refer to as Stephen King moments. And it can be from a movie, too, but it's usually something that kind of hits you more in writing. And maybe you've had this in other things that you've read, but it's something that Stephen King does that just sticks with you, typically in a horrifying way, even if it's not a horrifying thing. It's just these little things that like get in your head and you're like, why do I have to sleep with my light on tonight? That wasn't even scary.
No, yeah. I have to say, the moment Christine, when those two are driving in the car, I think it's New Year's Eve, and this is by the time where Arnie's just completely gone. And his friend is like, what's going on here, man? And he's just, that scene between those guys is, I can't even describe it.
That scene's amazing.
It is. And just, letting go of the wheel of the car. And, that's awesome. That's a great moment. And Jack at the bar in The Shining.
Whoa. That's a great scene.
And when he's walking down the hall and he's just doing that whole thing. I don't know, man. It's pretty cool. But
it's funny talking about when you mentioned Green Mile earlier. I forgot that one of the Stephen King moments that I used to have was the first time I watched it when John Coffey lets out and like the black bugs or like whatever that manifestation is. I remember because I didn't know it was a Stephen King thing for when I watched it, and so for a while I thought it was a like based on a true story kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then that moment happened and I was like, never mind.
Yes. No.
Way wrong.
No, yeah.
But because I thought it was a true story at first,
really?
That moment happened and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So you thought you were more like you were watching something more true crime.
Yeah.
Kind of,
wow.
I didn't know it was
way.
Stephen King when I first watched it.
No way. That's crazy.
So it like rocked my brain for a minute, and then I checked and I was like, oh, it's Stephen King. All right.
Yeah.
This is definitely fictional.
Oh man, that's great because it did feel like a straight drama. This could happen type of thing. Yeah, that's crazy.
You cut out all the supernatural stuff in that movie, and it's still amazing.
Oh man,
Hands down.
And the supernatural stuff is just like when he goes to the house to help cure the wife, and ooh, I want to watch that now. Yeah.
Okay, so another question for you. So we're talking about adaptations that really just hit it, just do everything right. Is there one that you've seen that you feel like doesn't do anything right, or missed the mark, or just is not generally, in your opinion, the best adaptation?
Everyone I talk to gives me crap for this, so I apologize. I love everything I see, and I was thinking about this because I think it's not because I think it's bad, but like the Pet Sematary movies are just so hard for me to watch because animals getting killed and kids getting killed. It's like, I don't know. As a kid, it scarred me for life. I don't know if I could watch it now, having kids now and everything.
Oh,
and then like part 2, did you guys see part 2? Good God, man. I don't know.
Is so ridiculous.
I just don't even know.
A wife and child die in a potato accident. Justin, how's that scary?
That's right. Yeah, I know.
It's a fun one.
Wow, I forgot about that.
It's interesting your reaction to that movie because it's, I don't know, what am I trying to say? Did you watch Pet Sematary?
Oh, yeah, years ago. Oh, wait, the old one and the second one. I have not seen the remake.
Ooh.
How do you guys feel about that?
It's been a topic of conversation on the show a couple times.
I heard.
It winds up in the least favorite adaptation category of a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, what did Ian Klink say? Did he mention that?
No, we haven't talked to Ian about it. But if you want to put words in his mouth, you totally can.
I can't. I can't because I'm not 150% sure what he thought.
Well, he's not here
we talked
to,
about
to
it.
correct you. So.
Oh, I don't want to misquote him. I'll
kidding.
never hear the end of it. So, yeah. But yes.
The changes they made kind of destroy the plot a little bit to some people. But if you take it for what it is, disregarding source material,
sure,
it's enjoyable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the directors we talked to really changed my mind on it because I was defending it a lot because I really loved that it was more about the women. It's like, that's cool and that's a neat change to make, but we're talking about how that change is a cool change to make and it should work, but you have to know what you're doing with it. You have to do it with purpose. And they did it more out of convenience because they were concerned about working with a very young actor for the little boy.
Okay.
And so they focused on the daughter instead.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
I heard
and
about
so
that.
if they had been a little more intentional with that, I think it would have been pulled off better than it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still enjoyed it though, because it's I forgive horror movies a lot.
Oh, yes. Yeah. There's some though that I just can't. Like I love 80s slasher, 70s, Halloween, the Friday 13th, all those, but like Paranormal Activity, I saw the first one and I can't do it. Those freak me out.
Ghost stuff and alien stuff, I have a hard time with.
Like do you like the Alien movies?
Well, oh no, I consider Alien like a monster movie.
Okay.
But I consider things like Fire in the Sky.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Terror.
Gotcha.
Can't deal with it.
What you mean, yeah.
When I first watched the Blair Witch Project when it first came out, couldn't sleep.
Dude, I remember specifically.
That got so intense.
No, I wanted to tell you because the Green Mile.
Yeah.
I thought, and my friends thought, did you think it was real, the Blair Witch, when you first saw it? Because there was that.
Yes.
You know?
I was a teen. I was like really young. So yeah,
I was a
thought it
sucker.
real.
As was I.
Yeah.
Yes, and
I found their MySpaces.
Oh, did
and
you?
all that stuff they did. Yeah.
Man, I was like, what? And then for days I couldn't sleep.
It was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, they died.
Yeah.
And then I felt like such a moron.
Oh no. Yeah. How did you guys find out?
One of my friends that I was lamenting and like grieving these people I didn't know informed me.
Yes. Yes.
The friend that I went to see the movie with let me spend the rest of the night thinking that it was real. And then the next morning, after I could not sleep, told me that it was.
Man.
Don't you guys love
Friends are jerks.
Being a teenager.
Well, that's it's one of those things where it's like, that you heard the next day then.
Yeah.
And then you found, I think it was a couple of days until my dad was like, that's not real, right? I'm like, it's not? Oh,
to
thank
have
God.
that faith in something and to be able to be duped like that.
Yeah.
It's just a magic you can't get back once you hit a certain age.
Boy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, especially when you get so into film, like if you had just spent the time to watch the credits.
Yeah. Everything else. Yeah, absolutely.
But as a kid, you're just like, movies over, credits happen, disregard anything that it says in there.
Yes.
But when the assistant director credit comes up, that's when you can be like, oh, right.
Yes, of course. Assistant director. Yeah. That's great.
Now, man, all right, Justin, I'm going to embarrass myself a little bit.
No.
Because you've been steadily making movies and short films since the early 2000s. I first discovered you and am so like, it's so funny because I never thought I'd get to meet you and I'm meeting you right now. I first saw you in University Heights.
Oh my. Yes.
Way back.
Wow. That's crazy.
Because I knew Travis Shepard.
Oh, you know Travis?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Small world.
Yeah.
But I ended up picking that movie up and I was just like, this guy's awesome.
Oh, man. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Travis was really good.
Travis was amazing in University Heights.
Yeah, everyone was so good. Oh, man. That was an intense shoot, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was crazy.
It's dark.
It is.
Dark and brutal.
I remember reading the script going, oh, my God, Scott, and you sure you want me to do this? I had a conversation. This is how great they are because because
this was Scott Beck and Brian Woods.
Woods, and I'll say this because you brought it up. I was nervous about doing it because I'm like, I just don't know if I got this in me. And they're like, just dude, come on, man. Just they pep talk me into doing it. Thank God, because they probably could have said, all right, take a hike.
Get out of here.
So yeah, but yeah.
Well, since CM has no idea what we're talking about, can you tell her a little bit
sorry.
about? No.
I first saw you in Haunt, so.
Oh no, yes. Thank you for watching, both of you.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stories going on. It's kind of like a Paul Thomas Anderson type of movie where we follow teacher who's dealing drugs, played by Jim Siokas, and then there's Travis Shepard, who's kind of dealing with some pretty dark, deep stuff. Who's also a teacher as well. Mm-hmm. Then there's Sabian Mentir and myself play these guys that are really up to no good. So they all kind of... and there's another student, Shane Simmons, that is dealing with stuff. So everyone's kind of going through their own deep, dark... God, people are going to be like, what? What is this episode? No, but you have to see it. It's pretty intense. But yeah, they did a great job.
You and Sabian made a great
that was
combo.
Fun. He was great to work with. Yeah, that was fun.
You've been making movies for a long time. When did you know you wanted to be an actor?
I have always loved movies since I was a kid. I would watch movies over and over and over again and just love like action, like Die Hard and Aliens. Love the set, like Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Good God.
The best president we've ever had.
Is that Pullman?
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry. I will never, ever do that again. I will let it go. I just want to, yes. There's Paxton. They're both
you're
great.
right.
No. Cut that out. He didn't say that. He knows. And so yeah, I loved movies growing up, and then I thought I was going to be a police officer because my dad and my uncles were. But then my dad introduced me to all of Al Pacino's movies, like all the Godfathers and Scarface and Heat and Serpico. And I was just like, I want to be an actor. This is what I want to do. And I was kind of nervous to tell my parents. And when I did, they were like, all right, great, absolutely. We kind of figured that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'd much rather be a cop in the movies. That would be a little more fun. So, yeah.
Way safer.
Yes. But yeah, that's what, and then, you start watching all Scorsese's movies, and you just, once you know what you want to do, you just start watching all this stuff, so yeah.
I love that your dad's a cop, and of course, Al Pacino is the perfect person for a cop to show.
God, totally, yeah. Yeah, he loved him.
Our listeners primarily probably watch more horror than other things, although that's a horrible statement I shouldn't even make because people are varied.
Oh.
So they might recognize you from the film Haunt, and you played awesomely this horrifying clown.
Ooh.
I'm just curious how you came to be involved in that project.
Brian and Scott and I had been making movies for, since we were in high school, and they went off, and good God, they're doing great. They're just so talented, and they had this idea. They told me about the idea they wanted to do about a haunted house that's, run by pretty bad people. And I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. And when they told me about the characters and auditions came up, you don't want to be that guy that's like, well, is there something for me?
I shamelessly do that in every interview we have.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just like, there was a part in there I was like, okay, this is a good part, but it's, not like a lead or anything, but maybe I could do that. And we went and saw, but I secretly wanted to do the clown. Like, that was the part I really wanted to do, but I didn't want to say anything because I figured they'd get someone bigger in that. But like, I was like, oh man, that'd be so cool. Cause we all watch The Dark Knight, and you're like, oh, Heath Ledger, I want to be a bad guy like that, Yeah. And so we went and saw It Chapter 1. And I remember walking out of the theater and telling my wife, oh, I really want to play the clown. That was awesome. And I'm not doing it like that because that's perfect, you know. So we took a totally different route. And so I called them up and said, guys, I know I don't even have to do it, but could I maybe read for the clown? Like, yeah. And they made it so hard. I think it was like 5 times I had to audition. And there would be a full week after each audition, and I'm going, oh God, I didn't, oh no. And then they called me up and gave me notes. And one of the things they said, play with voices, try something with voices. I'm like, oh God, how come I didn't think of that? And the first thing that came to mind was Philip Seymour Hoffman, especially in Mission Impossible 3. He's just got that deep voice where it's like, I don't care, I'll kill anyone. Just that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and then they were like, okay, do that again, and gave me some more notes. I'm like, okay. But I didn't have anyone to film the audition. So I was like, oh my God, I take one more audition and I don't have anyone to help me read lines or anything. And I called my friend Kurt, who's in the Quad Cities show that we're doing. And he was in Cedar Rapids. And he's like, I'm coming down there. Oh, yeah,
awesome.
He did. He drove all the way down and we filmed that audition. And I remember he said before the take, he's like, hey, man, we're just filming a movie. We're filming a movie. That's all we're doing. Think of it like that. And I mean, we did it and sent it off, and I got the part, and that was that. So yeah, it was pretty
That's
crazy.
awesome.
Yeah, it was since then it was insane. It was driving down to Kentucky to get the prosthetics on and the makeup guys and what to do with the hair, and it was just driving back and forth, and it was so much fun. Yeah.
The prosthetics for when we see your face. So goddamn cool.
It was, those are the guys that did The Nun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe they did. I remember they said that before and those guys were so cool. They had stories, man.
I did not fully appreciate, I appreciated it. I was like, yeah, that's really cool, but I hadn't really met you the first time I watched it, because I've watched it twice now. We just watched it recently before we talked to you, actually. And so the first time I saw it, it's like, yeah, this is awesome, great movie. And Devin knows you, so he's like, oh, that's Justin. He lives around here. I'm like, neat.
Oh.
But watching it, having met you and seen what you actually look like, because you can't quite tell what's under it and what's like you and how much they put on you. It was even cooler. And I could appreciate how well done it was even more.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. The ghost, I don't think that he completely disappeared with that makeup.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
amazing.
Oh man, that was something. Yeah,
I think you had the most fun part though, next to the ghost.
Oh, the ghost is a great part. Cheney Morrow is so good in that.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was such a fun part. One thing they did say was, don't be afraid to put on some weight. Because they kind of wanted him to be kind of bigger, and so that was the fun part. Because there was 5 guys down there where I was staying at in this great Mexican restaurant that they helped me out.
Where was it filmed?
This was filmed in Ohio, and so they put me up in this place, and it was really nice, and it was awesome. It was such a cool experience. Yeah.
It honestly, it looks like you are having a blast, because you spend a lot of time just alone doing. Like, I like that it cuts back to you just destroying evidence, and it just periodically checks in, and then you get the pleasure of destroying the abusive boyfriend, which is just a great moment.
I love that part.
Josh and I physically and audibly reacted to that cinder block coming down.
The hand crushing. Oh boy.
It was that when they showed me what or told me what I was going to do. It was like, oh my God. And they're like, yeah, you're going to do it to the Sam character and everything. It was like, oh, whoa, man. And then that was a freaking intense day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was I think everyone was just in the zone. And that actor that played Sam, he's great. Yeah. He was really good. He worked with us a few times before, and I was really happy he got in there because he's really cool.
I'm so glad that I didn't watch Haunt before we had our scene together in our short film, because I would have been intimidated. I'd been like, no, get someone else to play CM.
No.
I can't do it.
I was scared to death. I mean, I think the clown would have came in and been like, okay, I'm getting out of here. Sandy Wilkes here. So yes, yeah.
As we talked about earlier, Haunt was written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, who our listeners may know from The Quiet Place, and we just dropped earlier University Heights with you. What was it like reuniting doing a movie with them after Bride Wore Blood was probably the last one you did with them?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
Yeah, that's right. That's
also
a fun
another
one.
great movie.
Oh, that one was so much fun. That was it. And then the big difference is with those guys, it was just more money.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. I will say the first day on there, watching them, it's all our directors are coming through and there's cast and crew everywhere, and then they come walking by and it's like, whoa. they're big time now, man. So that was pretty awesome to go on set, and the first day was just like, this is insane. We got all the stuff we always wanted, you know.
Yeah.
But I remember Brian calling me when I was on my way there. He's like, "Are you here yet? Are you here yet? My parents here. They want to see everyone." So I'm like, "Okay, I'm on my way." And Scott's parents showed up. It was just great to have everyone there on a big movie. So yeah, it was cool.
So like just a high school reunion.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
That's so cool.
It was great.
Being able to just goof off, like make a great movie just like you had, you know.
Oh yeah, it
revisiting
was
all that magic.
It was them. It was all them too. I mean, writing it, coming up with the ideas, and just when they first, when I read the script, it was like, whoa, man, this is going to be intense, and they just know what they're doing. They know that genre very well, the horror genre.
Oh yeah.
They just. And they love, Mick Garris and all these guys that you mentioned, they study that, and so it's really cool.
It shows.
Yeah.
It absolutely shows in the execution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you name the horror movie, they could tell you for sure. So, yeah.
Are there any other behind the scenes stories you can share from the set?
When I drove down for the first time to get the prosthetics, all the other guys, Cheney and Damien, they all had to shave their head for the makeup and everything. And so I'm like, oh, should I shave my head? And they were like, Brian and Scott were like, don't do that just yet. And so I get down there, I'm talking to the makeup guys that put the mold over your head. And they're like, we're told not for you to shave your head. I'm like, oh, what are you guys thinking of doing? And so finally they're like, they call up Brian and Scott are like, would you mind dyeing your hair blonde and shaving the top of your head? I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, man. Let's do it. Let's give it a shot. And we got there, and I remember the moment they were shaving it all off and everything, one of the hair and makeup guys was like, I actually think you should have like a long string right here on the front of your head coming down that covers your face. I'm like, okay, we'll I mean, if you want to try whatever you guys want to do. And then Brian Scott came in like, we're taking a picture of this because we want to have this, but let's go with the shaved head. And the hair guy was like, all right, cool, let's do it. And then he dyed the hair blonde, and that was just insane. It was fun because it was like, all right, let's do it. And and I was walking around downtown Ohio like that. I'm like, I'm going to get some, because they gave me a hat to wear, but one night I forgot it. And I was walking down this alley, and these two like blue collar, hardworking guys come walking up. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot my hat. And then they're just like, hey, how you doing? Nothing.
That's fun.
And then I got to set, and there was a guy out there who's like, did you lose a bet? What's that? So it was fun.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, it was a blast.
You've done work in nearly every genre. Do you have a favorite that you like to perform in?
I do love the crime genre.
Yeah.
I love that genre. And I mean, just growing up watching Dirty Harry and The French Connection,
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I love Gene
Conversation.
Hackman. The Conversation. I love that movie. Oh my God. My wife showed me that one. I was embarrassed I hadn't seen it. And then she sat me down and watched it, and I can't even count how many times I've seen it. Gene Hackman's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then horror. I love horror. I love, I can't even count how many times, I'm sorry, I mentioned it before, but like Aliens, just having all those VHSs and watching that growing up over and over, and just how terrifying it was, like when they're in the room and, he's got the beeper, he's like, it says they're in the room. And then, they open, they're coming up the cell.
Yeah.
That's just terrifying to even think about. But yeah, I would say definitely, I do love the crime movies, cops and robbers.
Yeah.
I just love it.
I'm a real sucker for heist movies.
Oh God,
I love heist movies so much.
Oh, there's so many too.
Yeah.
I mean, Heat, Reservoir Dogs, The Score. What's your favorite?
Reservoir Dogs blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because I'd never considered a heist movie that takes place following the
Right. Yeah.
I was anticipating. You see that and you assume I'm going to get to see the heist. No, not at all.
Yeah,
and it rocked my world.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really love, as cheesy as it is, I love the Ocean's movies.
Oh, I love those movies.
I'm a real sucker for ensemble casts.
Me too, yeah.
Like, they just make my heart so happy because you can see so many actors you like really just having the best time with each other.
Oh God, yeah.
And that's, I mean, I know I have made a few movies and we've made a web series and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just fun to goof off with your friends.
Yeah, it is.
So imagine getting paid that much to just hang out with 11 of your buddies.
That would just be a blast.
Right.
And it sounds like they were having a blast. So yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, I don't care how many of those movies they make. I will watch
Oh,
every single
totally.
one.
Yeah. Bring on more. Yeah, I'm with you.
Now, if the cop genre is your favorite, what is your favorite archetype to play? Because there's a lot of nuance you can go in the crime category.
I really enjoy playing. God, I'll play anything, but I really love playing police officers. Just those tough, hard-nosed. I'll try. I don't know if I can pull it off, but I love, like, the guys that, have seen some stuff, or, guys that work undercover, and you get to see the joy and the excitement that those guys have. When you mix it up and it's serious and fun, that's just a blast. So, yeah, I guess say police officers I do love playing. And then, when you get a chance to play the bad guy, that's pretty fun too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. And in that world, you can just go crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
In your most recent project that you're currently working on, you play a police officer or detective?
Yes, you got both right. Thank you.
Oh.
He's an ex-police officer turned into a private investigator. So yes. Did you say your favorite crime movie?
Oh, no, I didn't. I've never been asked that. I'm always talking about my favorite horror movie.
Oh yeah.
Which, it's a couple.
Oh,
My
yeah?
favorite horror movie is Possession and The Thing.
Oh yeah.
And there are a few others.
Yeah.
If I can only name two of
No.
my
You should know
favorite.
CM cannot give one
I-
answer
no,
to
I
any
can't
question.
either. Pick one. There's no way. So I'm with you all the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I really love, I guess my true crime love comes through in podcasts and documentaries.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
watching documentaries and listening to podcasts. Small Town Murder
Yeah.
is one of my favorites.
You hear that advertised left and right these days.
Yeah.
They're really
Those guys are so awesome too. And so it has kind of ruined me though, because I'm off for the summers because I work in a school, and I like to, open the windows or have the screen door thing. And,
Yeah.
but I'm terrified that someone's going to break in and rape and murder me.
No.
While I'm just enjoying the day.
Yeah.
And so I'm so paranoid now. And like everywhere I go, I'm like, is anybody following me? I take the same way to work every day. Maybe I should change it up. It's terrible, but I'll never be murdered probably.
I hope to God not. No,
Yeah.
no, I hope not. And I'm with you. That's one of my biggest fears. Someone breaking into your house and just like, ugh.
That's home invasion
Oh my
movies
God. Oh, yeah.
are so brutal to
Yes,
watch. Like
yeah.
The Strangers.
Oh man.
That movie haunted me
I
for
know.
a while.
Yeah. There was another one where that happened. Oh my, okay. The first Purge movie.
Yes.
Okay, Ethan Hawke. I love Ethan Hawke. That they did everything you want to see. They fought back. They had guns. I remember leaning over to Kurt when we watched it in the theater, and he was just like, "This is everything you always freaking wanted," So that made me sleep better. But home invasion movies do. Oh boy, yeah, those are scary.
I prefer to be killed on screen.
Yes. And then it's more fun that way.
It is so fun because everybody cheers when you like hit your mark, like if you have the tube of blood and you need to time everything and you actually do it.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah, and you're like, yeah, I did it. And
yes.
it's such a positive thing.
It's great. Yeah. It's like the squibs work, you fall down cut. All right. Yes. You're right. You're totally right. It's a bigger deal, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a broken plunger shoved through the back of my head for a movie, and it was the coolest thing.
A broken plunger?
Yeah.
See, that stuff, when you see that, you're like, that's just harsh. It's not like a knife or anything,
You crushed someone's head with a sledgehammer, Justin.
That is right. Right.
That effect was amazing.
And you didn't kill my husband, but it's your fault that somebody else did. in your.
You're absolutely.
I don't want to give anything away. But...
If we would have got there in time, I would have. We would have loved to have saved Def. He's such a great guy. I'm sorry. I love him.
He's awesome.
Well, let's talk about the project a little bit. Your upcoming project, Quad Cities, we've talked about a little bit. Can you tell our listeners about the project?
I want to make sure I don't give anything away. So it's a story about a serial killer that's taken the Quad Cities by storm. There's just brutal murders that the police and the city have never seen before. And there's an investigative reporter played by my great friend Kurt Oberhaus and a private detective played by myself that team up to try to figure out what's going on, who's doing this. And we're trying to put the pieces together. And we don't normally work together. We're familiar with each other, but now we kind of have to join forces and we kind of work differently. So it's we're kind of going for like a Tales from the Crypt. There's humor and there's, scares, hopefully. And like Silence of the Lambs, like a detective thriller, or you guys seen Manhunter?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So that's kind of what we were going for.
Yeah.
But
It's, we were able to watch the first episode. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you for watching.
Very much enjoyed it.
Awesome.
The chemistry you and Kurt have is it's so natural. You can tell your friends.
Oh God, thank God.
You can feel there's this underlying tension that I'm sure we'll explore after episode 1 and everything. But you guys you balance each other out and play off each other so well. It's such a joy to watch.
I love working with him. We've been just as long as Brian and Scott. I've known him. It's funny. I don't think I would have met my wife or all my other great buddies if it wasn't for Brian and Scott. Because of them, I got to make movies and meet people, and I got to meet, Ian and Kurt and those guys. And Kurt and I we just love working with each other, he's such a great actor. And so hopefully we get to do more. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was really fun.
Did you, is any of your performance as a cop inspired by your dad?
Oh yeah. He definitely, there's little stuff he would always mention because he loved, cop movies too. That was the first, movies we would go see, and spy movies. He loved spy movies. But there's like little things like if you're playing a detective, he's like, don't button your coat because you can go for your gun faster if you have your coat always unbuttoned. So like stuff like that he always talking about, and gun stuff he is big on. Like, God, if he saw John Wick, he would, oh my God, he would be all over that because that is like
That's
how it is.
Amazing.
Keanu has always been good at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was always like, Keanu and all that. But he always gave us, really good tips when we were filming. And I recall, because we would film at the police station all the time, Devin went to go film at the police station and I wasn't there. And he mentioned that my dad was like, oh, I know how to do this. Come on in. And showed him around, let him film there and everything. And so I always thought that was great because Devin's such a great guy.
That's so awesome.
Oh, yeah. It was great.
So the series it's coming out in October, correct? And it's 5 episodes.
Yes.
What inspired this 5-part miniseries?
Well, here we go. We're getting into
we're
getting your territory
here we
now.
go.
Finally. Kurt said, man, we got to do something horror. We haven't done it in a long time. And, just doing Haunt was so much fun. And just, so it's like, yeah, we should do some horror. And we've never done a web series before. And, there's so many great shows out that are out now, and going back and even watching, like right now, I'm watching The Shield. Have you guys ever seen it? Oh, my
Shield is great.
Michael Chiklis and what's his name? Walton Goggins.
Michael Chiklis made me want to learn how to just punch somebody
Right?
so efficiently.
And wear that leather jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's great. I love Oh, man. Thank you. And like The Sopranos and True Detective, like all these shows we love. It's like be great to try to do a series. And so we thought, well, let's do a web series where it's maybe 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes each. And so we're like, let's give it a shot. And we're thinking we're very fortunate to have a short film in Alternating Currents.
Nice.
That's going to play down there. And that short, we were going for festivals. Send it to festivals. And with this, we thought, let's try to just get it out there. And, by the grace of God, if we can get people on social media to like it and enjoy it, and if they want to share it, maybe it can get out there. So we'll see. That's the goal with that one.
That's awesome. It's so great to not only have you here talking to us because you have done big professional movies, you've also done little independent movies, and now you're doing a real just diehard passion project.
Oh, yeah.
And we're so fortunate in the people we get to interview on the show that's the common thread is passion.
Yeah.
Because you can't do this stuff unless you have that passion.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So it's really cool to see you putting all the work you've put in so far behind just a passion project for people to get it out there and people to see.
Thank you so much. And can I say, filming your guys' trailer was such a blast. Thank you so much for having me do it, because, man, that was a lot of fun. And I love Misery. I thought James Caan was so good in that. And it's like, oh, that's so freaking, yeah.
You filled his shoes perfectly.
Big shoes to fill. I could never top that. He was so good. But thank you so much and you guys are going to, do you guys do more stuff, more acting or more filmmaking?
Yeah.
That's great, because, I want to see more of your guys' stuff.
My trick is I'm never asked to do anything. I just show up because inevitably someone else drops the ball and doesn't show up, and I'm like, I'm here.
And that's
and then
all
they're like,
we ask
shit, we have nothing left.
We have nothing,
Put her
no
in
other
it.
option.
I'll tell you right now, that's what, someone shows up, it's like, just, yes, thank you. Get them in here and please come back. So, yes, yeah.
Yeah, we, about the anniversary just came up. I filmed a 7-part web series here.
Well, I should be
a few
talking to
years
you.
ago. Right, yeah.
You need to give me tips. That's awesome. What was this about?
It's called Against the Odds, and it's about a Anthony Natarelli. Who,
I recall that.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And he winds up at a bar that caters specifically to supernatural creatures.
Okay.
Yeah, so CM plays a banshee.
You're in that?
Yep.
Awesome.
There's a scene of her and I playing pool.
Okay.
I play a character named Sin, whose power is when he makes skin-to-skin contact, he can influence your emotions, and he just loves to fuck with people.
Really?
Yeah.
And Devin's in it.
And yeah, and Devin plays a guy with super strength and speed who owns the bar.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
I'll send you a link to the
Please
playlist. We're
do.
remastering it right now. Devin's actually reworking all of the audio or all of the music and stuff, so we can get the whole series is out, but we want to have like a master cut.
Of course.
Yeah.
The character you play kind of reminds me, did you ever see Fallen with Denzel Washington?
Yeah.
Oh, have you seen that?
Yeah.
That movie's awesome.
Yeah.
You got it. That's the next movie.
Fallen?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
It's a good one.
All right, so are you finished filming all of Quad Cities, and is it all in post-production, or are you still actively?
We are in post-production,
Yeah.
and we're editing now, and we're going to have the first episode is going to, it's going to be shown at the Monster Festival.
Oh, Midwest Monster Fest.
Yes, thank you. Very
We'll
much.
be
We're very
there.
excited.
We have,
We have a
a
booth.
booth. Yeah.
You guys are going to be there?
Yeah.
Can I come by and say hello?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, all right, awesome. Yeah, that'll be. Oh, and Cheney and Damien are going to be there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. So those guys are awesome.
You gonna have your masks?
We're gonna have the mask. I know Damien actually has his costume from the movie.
Really?
Yeah. So that'll
We
be.
guys have any merch?
Oh man.
I want to buy something from you guys. Have merch.
Well, I know those
anything.
guys
Just
were.
do it.
I'm so new at this stuff, so I'll try to have something for you guys. You
which-
can just have it.
I don't know. I don't want to embarrass you or anything, but I thought it was very cool that you are doing the autograph signing and photo op at Midwest Monster Fest and donating the funds.
Oh, thank you.
That is
very much.
such a cool thing to do. Like have something for your community to
you
give
know.
back. That's so cool.
Well, thank you very much. It's, for a really good cause. It's going to St. Jude, so, and I just always feel awful asking people for money. So it'll go straight there.
Yeah.
And so, yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So with Quad Cities, what's the reaction been to people either who've seen it or worked on it?
So far, you guys have been very kind, so thank you. Everyone, you're always nervous when you show, cast members and, such. And we're like, okay, here you go. And you're just on pins and needles all day. And so far, thank God, people have been really enjoying it. And so they're just, excited for it to see the next episode, which is what you want in a series. But so we're going to put it on Facebook, social media on October 2nd. And then every Saturday or every weekend, it'll be shown up until the 30th. The 30th will be the last episode. So just in time for Halloween.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you guys have any other social media stuff planned, like any live watch parties or talk backs afterwards?
See, this is why I need to be talking to you guys. Yeah, whatever helps.
I'm a marketing genius.
That's great. Yeah. Well, then I definitely need to talk to you.
He's super humble too.
Yes.
That's his biggest trait.
Oh, of course.
Just because, like I said, I enjoyed the first episode. I think that if people tune in and check it out, I think they'd love to get more behind the scenes stuff.
Sure, yeah.
So if you could give a piece of advice to anyone else, writer, actor, director, on all the time you've been working, what would that piece of advice be?
I don't know if I'm worthy enough to give advice. I would say just keep doing it, especially today. And plus, people know when they're passionate, when they want to do it, they just go do it. So they already got it figured out. I think it's what do you do? And how do you get an agent, or how do you get work? And if you just email agents, and there's so much stuff to get work. And while you're waiting, get together with your friends and go, well, I've always wanted to play this and you want to play that. Let's just go make it. And I think and there's so many ways to do it now and to show your work. So just do what you want to do, man, while you're waiting for the big boys to get back to you. So yeah.
That's awesome.
That's it. Working with you and Ian a couple weeks ago on our project and on your guys' other project was incredibly thanks for letting me.
Yes.
It was just incredibly inspiring to be around you guys, to see people doing the thing they want to do. Which sounds like such a simple idea, but I think too, just trying to surround yourself with people who are like-minded, have the same interests. And I think when you have multiple people who are doing that, it's much easier to say, okay, let's just give it a shot. Let's just do it. Because now I'd be like, okay, I'm going to buy a better phone. And Josh, let's just.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Especially, like with phones now. Because, back in the day, it was getting those little VHS cameras.
Little mini DVDs.
Oh, yeah, those are great.
God.
Now they're all on your phone and you can just go do it. So, it's just a matter of just going and doing it, So you're right. And thank you very much.
What else do you find interesting, or what do you have coming up? What's a question?
You want to take that back one more time?
No, I thought I totally knew what you wanted to say.
I'm leaving it. Not
because I completely understood
what
you.
Stuff, Justin?
All kinds of stuff. There's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I would say I totally understood what you were saying. There's a few other pet passion projects that I'm working on. Just characters I'd really love to play, and there's stuff for Kurt and Ian and Cheney and all these guys, all the friends and everything, and that I'm working on. And then I was very fortunate to get an agent in Los Angeles that has been very good to me, and hopefully that can just get some some gigs out there in Hollywood. So we'll see. But yes, but I don't know. And hopefully to work with you guys again would be awesome. So
we would love to work together sometime.
Yeah, totally.
You have our number, and there is nothing we won't do.
If you need an understudy extra.
Yeah.
No extras. Lead parts. Only lead parts.
That's actually something that I think is really fun about being an actor is small parts. I think small parts can be so much fun because you can go nuts.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many parts where like a guy walks in, you're like, who was that?
Yeah.
That guy just ate up the scene, man. So those are fun parts. Yeah.
So where can people follow you? Where can they catch your newest project when that comes out?
It is on Quad Cities the mini series on YouTube. You type that in, and then there's a little teaser on there now, just a little teaser trailer. The trailer will be released in a couple of weeks, but if you go there, that's where it's going to be. So yes. Did I say that right? Quad Cities the miniseries.com. Just making sure. Sorry. I'm always nervous about that. I said it wrong.
Plugging stuff is always so stressful.
So stressful because it's like, oh my God. I can imagine like Warner Brothers being like, make sure you say this. You're like, okay, I got to say this or I'm screwed. So yes, yeah. If that ever happened.
Right, yeah. What is the short you have for Alternating Currents coming out?
Oh, thank you. It's called Over Under, and it has Kurt and myself and Kurt's brother Luke, and it was shot by Courtney Gray, who also has she's going to have a film at the Monster Fest and there too. But it's about a big surprise, a detective who has a gambling problem and gets in pretty deep with a gangster. And I shouldn't say anything after that.
Very
but
cool.
Yeah, it was
All right.
fun.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us. It's been a huge pleasure. Please keep us apprised of upcoming projects. We would love to share your stuff out on our social media, make sure our fans can find all that stuff.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this was fun.
That's it for this episode of Derry Public Radio. As always, thank you for listening. Join us for our next episode. For CM Alexander and Justin Marxen, I'm Joshua Kahn reminding you, follow your passion. Do what you want to do.
Hey everyone, CM Alexander here. We hope you enjoyed our interview with Justin Marxen. Please check out his web series at Quad Cities the miniseries on YouTube, where you can catch an episode a week starting the 1st of October through Halloween. Having seen the first episode, I can tell you that you won't want to miss this, and it's a fantastic way to kick off the Halloween season. That's all for now, listeners. Goodbye.